Now folks, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Biden administration plan to pass the next massive spending bill before the month of August, and this means that you could soon receive a fourth stimulus check. Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your fourth stimulus check update and news report. I hope all of you guys are having a great day so far. And if you support a fourth stimulus check, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes.
The only thing worse for an elected official when the president shows up is to say, the worst sentence in English language is, I'm at the airport. So thank you all so much. You got some really great friends here.
On this channel, everybody, I always do my best at providing you guys with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news. I want to see every member of my community receive a fourth stimulus payment. Now, if you folks agree with my message, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. As always, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Now, a group of Senate Republicans has unveiled a $928 billion infrastructure proposal to counter President Biden's plan for a nearly $2 trillion bill. The proposal outlines a significant increase from the most recent GOP plan to spend $568 billion. The new version of the bill includes additional money for roads, bridges, water, and as well as airports. But the majority of the proposed spending is part of an existing baseline plan for investments, and the total new money is just $257 billion. Now the change comes days after Biden offered to top off $550 billion from his original proposal, moving the two sides closer than they have ever been before.
In fact, not only should we not cut benefits, we should expand them. My plan for Social Security increases benefits and cost of living adjustments.
In a statement, the White House officials called the Republican counteroffer encouraging, but said they were concerned about the proposal to use relief funding to pay for the plan, and that some concerns remained about funding proposals for VA hospitals, rail, transit, lead pipes, and climate. Biden said he plans to meet with Republican senators on infrastructure talks next week. President Biden is set to propose a budget totaling $6 trillion in the coming days. And the proposal would contain major investments in infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Under the plan, the federal government would spend $6 trillion in the 2022 fiscal year, and spending would increase to $8.2 trillion by the year 2031. Meanwhile, millions of California residents may be in line to get a fourth check via new efforts from Governor Gavin Newsom. His plan would send $6 trillion stimulus checks to state residents under a multi-billion-dollar spending plan that he introduced earlier this month, with about 2/3 of Californians possibly receiving a stimulus payment under his proposal. The letter from U.S. senators doesn't specify how large are the payments that they are seeking, but a separate effort from Democratic lawmakers in January pushed for $2,000 monthly checks until the crisis ends. Instead, the American Rescue Plan authorized $1,400 for each eligible adult and dependent, according to a recent analysis from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So far, people who have received the 3 rounds of stimulus payments said they're using most of the funds to pay down debt or save. And that can indicate that people are using the money to whittle down debt that they incurred during the crisis, as well as to build up an emergency fund in case of another shock.
But all kidding aside, the good news is we forget the bad times. That's the good thing about we Americans. We're always optimistic. But 10 months ago, we were in trouble. When I was sworn in, there were 10 million fewer jobs in America, and a lot here in
I can to extend the solvency of Social Security and expand benefits.
As always, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Now that most $1,400 third stimulus checks have been sent out, the voices calling for at least one more direct payment is getting louder by the day. In the more than 2 months since Congress approved the last round of checks, support has been building among lawmakers and members of the public for the relief to continue for as long as the crisis lasts. The newest push comes from members of a powerful congressional committee who say workers and families still struggling to cover debts, food bills, and housing costs will be helped by fourth and even fifth payments. But data that was just released shows critics questioning the need for more cash aid. It shows over 1 million of last year's first stimulus checks never got spent, and letters urging President Biden to support additional direct payments have now been signed by more than 80 lawmakers in Congress. In the latest are 7 members of the influential House and Ways Committee. The House and Ways and Means Committee takes a lead role over taxation and government budgeting. But it was concern over household budgets that prompted the committee members to pen a letter to Biden in recent days. The lawmakers say that most people have been spending their relief checks on basics, like food, utilities, rent, and mortgage payments. The letter says families and workers shouldn't have to worry about whether they have enough money to pay for essentials in the months ahead. Payments that are still outstanding mostly represent people who are more difficult to reach, like those without income or bank accounts. But the IRS recently issued guidance for those who are homeless, explaining that they may still qualify for stimulus check money, as well as the expanded child tax credit, even if they do not have a permanent address or bank account. But everybody, others may miss out on the earned income tax credit. And the key to accessing that money is to file a federal tax return, even if you typically don't submit those forms. So guys, that's all the news in this video. If any of you guys found this video useful and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, and give this video a like. Until next time, everybody, have a great day and stay safe.
So long, we kind of take it for granted. So let me say a word about Social Security. When Social Security was developed in the 30s, its goal was to cut down on senior poverty. And when it was developed, 50% of seniors lived in poverty. Today, poverty among seniors is too high, but that number is 10%.
Some way they're calculating that, but certainly those dollars are not going to be spent. We know that because our states have said it's time for people to get back to work, and it's been a deterrent for some in a lot of states for people to get back to work. Yes. Okay, so when you're looking at the 1.7 trillion from the White House, what are you looking at? You're looking at 400 billion for the caring economy. You're looking at, I believe, 100 billion for EV vouchers, which we zero out. We don't think this is the place for that. So, you know, you can get down pretty quick if you start looking at some of VA hospitals, schools, housing. Some of those are big numbers in the president's initial proposal, and we don't agree that that's physical infrastructure. So it is not a 1.7-200. I've been trying to explain this the whole time, and we're kind of getting missed a little bit. So I think the gaps are much less. But the important thing here is that the president's desire and our desire to do something together that's traditionally